Hi boys and girls, today I'm going to be teaching you about color. We're going to be using your sketchbook, and you also need the worksheet about color, and it would be helpful to also have your oil pastels. So go ahead and get those things out of your art kit and let's begin. Color is an important element of art. Let's take a look at this color wheel. One of the first things we notice on a color wheel are the three primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. The primary colors cannot be created by other colors. However, they have a big job to do when it comes to creating other colors. For example, yellow and blue create green, yellow and red create orange, and red and blue create purple or violet. These 6 colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet, are the 6 main colors that we see on the color wheel. After that, we have a set of colors called intermediate or tertiary colors. The green, orange, and violet that we just mentioned were called secondary. So we have primary colors and secondary colors. The tertiary or intermediate colors are made by mixing a main primary with a neighboring secondary. Let me explain. Red and orange make red-orange. Orange and yellow make yellow-orange. Yellow and green make yellow-green. Green and blue make blue-green. Blue and violet make blue-violet. And red and violet make red-violet. Notice how the names for these tertiary or intermediate colors always starts with the name of the primary color. Now that you know a little bit about color, we're going to create a color wheel as our art project for today. For this project, you will need from your take-home art kit your set of oil pastels, your worksheet about the color wheel, elements of art color, and your sketchbook. You'll also need a pair of scissors and a glue stick so that when we're finished with your color wheel, we can cut out this page and just trim the edges and add it to our sketchbook. To start creating your color wheel, begin in the middle with the 3 primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. Notice how these colors fit into the triangle in the center. We're going to start by coloring the triangle, paying attention to the color name it starts with. Now that the center triangle is colored in the primary colors, move to the outer edge of the color wheel and color the primary colors again in the large spaces. I realize if you have crayons or colored pencils, these spaces would be able to be colored in very exact precision. But since we are using oil pastels, which don't give you a sharp edge, I understand if you go out of the lines a little bit. Next, we're going to create the secondary colors. Remember that red and blue make violet or purple, red and yellow make orange, and blue and yellow make green. We have 2 options for creating these colors. I'd like you to try a little bit of each. First, let's experiment actually mixing the colors, and then we'll see how that turns out, and then use the actual primary color oil or secondary color oil pastel. So let's, for example, experiment with mixing a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow here on this part. And then use your finger to rub and blend. And notice how the colors mix right before your eyes. Now this part is a little bit messy. If you want to wipe your fingers on the edge here or on the back, or have a washcloth or rag or paper towel, that's fine. So that makes our green. Now, could we actually just go in and color it with this pure green? Sure thing. But it is a little bit more artistic and a little bit more scientific in this process to actually go and create this green out of the blue and yellow that was there. And again, if it's a little messy, that's okay. That's part of this process. So there's our green. I'm going to go ahead and do the same process now for orange. One of the things you may have noticed as I was making the orange was I started with yellow and then I added only a little bit of red. Red pigmented art products are really strong. Red is a really strong color and it will overpower the yellow very quickly. So go ahead and add a little red at a time until your eyes feel like it is a nice medium orange. The other thing I noticed was I still had a little bit of green on my finger, so it was important to make sure I picked a different finger to blend with or wash my hands in between. Finally, we're going to work with purple. Now, one of the things that can sometimes happen when you make purple with red and blue is you might not get the kind of purple that you're hoping for. Let's take a look and see what we get. I'm going to very lightly color some blue and very lightly color some red and use a different finger to try to blend those together. Oh, good. Fortunately, that works. That makes a really nice purple color. Again, please experiment with mixing. If you'd like to take the secondary color and color it in after, that's fine. But it's really great to experiment as an artist, seeing how they mix together. Again, go very light at first, otherwise the colors will overpower one another and get extremely muddy. Did you see that? I had to go back in and add a little purple because I had some yellow on my finger and it really messed it up. Anyway, we've got our 6 basic colors here: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple or violet. The next thing we need to do is make our tertiary colors. I'm going to demonstrate a few of these for you and then I'll show you the finished product. Now remember that the tertiary colors are made by mixing together a primary color, like blue for example, with a secondary color that's next door. So blue-green is made of blue and green. This is sort of going to turn out to be a turquoise color. Now, if I was going to be really stingy with you, I would only let you use blue and yellow. Let's think about this as a recipe. If you had to make blue-green with only blue and yellow, what would you use the most of in your recipe? More blue or more yellow? Think about what it's closer to. If you said more blue, you're correct. If you filled the space with sort of a strong amount of blue and added just a smidge of yellow, you would probably get blue-green or turquoise. In this case today, I'm going to experiment with adding blue and green to make our blue-green. Don't go too dark too quickly because it's hard to really scrape away any of the oil pastel. Just a little bit of a light scribble of blue. And look how cool this is already as I start to add the green, and I'm going to try to find a clean finger and try to blend those together. Oh, that looks really cool. I can already see the blue and green creating blue-green. Let's try another one now with yellow-green. If I only had yellow and blue, I would use mostly yellow with just a smidge of blue, and then I'd get sort of a yellow-green or spring green color. I know that you do have a yellow-green-ish shade here in your kit. I'd prefer you really to try to mix this color. Let's try it out by mixing a little bit of green and a little bit of yellow, or even this time, let's try by doing blue and yellow. Mostly yellow. Only a smidge of blue. And then blend. What I should see is a very yellowy shade of green. This is the same process you're going to do as you work around the entire color wheel. I'll show you how it works in high speed. And I'm all finished with my color wheel. Now it's definitely a bit messy, but that's what happens when you're mixing with your fingers and using giant oil pastels. The last thing to do on this page in order to be finished is go ahead and fill in the colors down below for your primary colors and secondary. Let's see if you remember, what were the primary colors? If you said red, orange, and blue, oh, I'm sorry, I totally messed that up. If you said red, yellow, and blue, you're correct. Color here, red, yellow, and blue. The secondary colors are made by mixing these. Red and yellow make orange, that's right. Red and blue make purple. and blue and yellow make green. The last thing to do when you're all finished with this page is cut it out. You don't have to go crazy with cutting it out because if you notice in your book, it's almost the right size lengthwise, but it's just a smidge too wide. So go ahead and cut off the one edge, cut off the other edge, and maybe a smidge of the bottom and top if you would like. Go into your sketchbook, find the next empty page, flip this over, add a little wiggle of glue stick around the edges. If you don't have glue stick, a small amount of regular glue will work. You could also use some tape. Place this into your sketchbook and you're done. The last thing to do with this assignment is take a photo either with your smartphone or with your Chromebook selfie camera. Take a photo of you with this project and upload that photo into the Google Classroom assignment. Do not put it into the Google Classroom stream. It should go into the assignment for this color project. Good luck today. Try your best, and if you have any questions or trouble, please email me and let me know.